And we are live. Yet another episode of Brace. Josh Carroll, Real JC, and the wizard himself.
You know what time it is. It's the VOLDREGA. You can call me Mage. Let's get it.
Facts. Now, here at Braceport, we've mainly done predictions, but we're taking a little break from that since we don't have anything to do this week, thank God. Today, we have our first interview, and we might as well welcome the special guest himself, the 5-time no-host champ, XQZ.
Yes. Appreciate y'all having me.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for coming on, bro. So, yeah, if y'all don't know, he is arguably the OG when it comes to no. You've been battling for, 12 years now? Pretty much since its inception?
Damn near, yeah. My first official battle was it was September of 2009. So yeah, coming up on that 12-year mark. It's crazy.
Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah, smoked that, man.
How did that even come about?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because it feels like a completely different lifetime, but basically I was a big battle rap fan, probably starting like 04, 05, just, how everyone else, you just kind of stumble across a battle either on online or, there used to be battles on like Comcast On Demand, if y'all remember. So like you just kind of would stumble across a battle, then you'd go down a rabbit hole. So, I was just like, I got into this shit eventually, was like on the like rapmusic.com forums and shit. And, but I never really thought I would actually battle. But what happened was I was a freshman at Mizzou. I just moved into my dorm about 2 weeks ago in Columbia, Missouri, and I'm on one of the battle rap forums on rapmusic.com, and someone's posting that a video from a battle that just took place in Columbia, Missouri, where I had just moved to, which I don't. If either you know anything about that place, it's not somewhere you'd expect battles to be going down, especially back then where it's not like it is now where there's battles everywhere. Like back then it was like grind time, URL, KOTD, and that's it. Like you didn't hear of just random leagues popping up. So it was this weird coincidence. I'm like, all right, this feels like one of those like meant to be type of moments. Like I move here and then suddenly there's battles in this random small town in Missouri. So I hit up Kelly Betts on MySpace and asked him if I could
on MySpace.
Yeah, hit the MySpace inbox.
Other times,
and he made me do a fucking audition video too. He wouldn't even just give me a tryout. He asked me to send a video of me rapping a 16 before he would even give me a tryout battle. So I did that, and I guess it was good enough because he set me up against Bilbo Baggins. I had a week to prep, and it was like the funny thing was this dude was like. Columbia, Missouri is a weird place. Like it's got its own little hip hop scene, and this dude was one of the like locals who would kind of he'd be the opening act for any big name that came into town, and so he had like kind of a following. He didn't really battle, he didn't have any footage, so I just kind of went off his name and like one track that was on his MySpace. MySpace was everything back then. Basically he was, I don't think he even really wrote, and I clearly, it was my first battle, so I took it very seriously, and it was kind of a mean 30, but it was a cool little introduction. And I think I was really fortunate that was my experience starting out in battle rap, was a really low pressure situation. Like it was in front of like 15 people at a park. There was no pressure. It was purely just, let's have some fun with it and see how it goes. And I think that's certainly helpful for anyone starting out.
Wait, what? there was this one where I remember you saying in that battle. What was it? Why doesn't this kill get off his propane grill? Like, like, that was nuts for that time.
That's ahead of its time. That's some relevant rhymes right there. That's a perfect comparison. He did look like Hank Hill. I was on it from the jump.
Shout out Sunday Venom. He just called you Tony Romo battle raps.
Damn, I ain't heard that one yet. I've heard who's the dude from what I always been getting lately is the dude from fucking Captain America. What's the actor? You know what I'm talking about?
Wait, from the show or the movie?
From the movie. Evans, yeah, Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
I've been getting that one lately. I'm like, all right, so I'm like, I must be kind of yoked these days. Like, all right, I'll take
but if you hitting the gym at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., maybe.
I'm trying.
I'm not.
Man, right. I had a battle. One of my first battles back in like 2010. Someone commented like XQZ is built like Christian Bale and the Machinist. I'm like, I gotta get my fucking weight up. Like, I can't have that be my.
I won that battle. They can't do this to me.
Yeah, hell nah.
It's funny how in some places where inspiration comes along though, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you gotta be ready for it. You put yourself out there. You got, you know, I've really been fortunate. Like, I think because I've always been kind of under the radar in like the big picture in battle rap, I haven't had to deal with, you know, the type of trolling and the type of weird shit that some of the much bigger names have to deal with. But no matter who you are, if you're putting yourself out there, you know, it's you gotta expect it, and you know, try to pull whatever motivation or whatever, you know, positivity out of it you can.
Gotta look for the positive.
You still stick with that kind of underdog mentality, now that you've made it to Smack and KOTD. Like I'm gonna bet that even you never thought that you would even make it to Smack or KOTD like that. But here you are making waves and eyes on yourself. Like how does that feel?
It's crazy because it's kind of like there's kind of a tug of war with that, because like on one hand you're absolutely right. Like if I went to my, you know, me at 15 and said, you know, you're going to start battling and you're going to do all this shit, you're going to get on the biggest platforms and, you know, you're going to battle legends and you're going to you know, have people pay you to rap, like even that alone, just when I was 15 or 16, I couldn't envision spitting a verse in front of some people, let alone all this shit. So you have to just, I have to keep that in perspective, because it really is, it's pretty surreal just knowing who I was and what I expected to get out of battle rap. Got to appreciate it. Which, you know, the catch-22 with that is sometimes it makes it difficult to get motivated, because I truly do feel like I surpassed my own expectations a long time ago, from, you know, what I ever thought I'd accomplished. So it's kind of like you want to keep progressing. You don't want to be too satisfied, but it's kind of hard not to be. But, you know, fortunately, I have been able to continue to progress and get new challenges, like what this KOTD season is turning into. That's, you know, there's no choice but to just continue evolving, or you're going to get up there and embarrass yourself and go 0-3, which I don't want to do. So it's you just, you know, I've always kind of trusted that if I just keep going out of my comfort zone and keep, you know, no matter how slow it is, as long as I'm progressing, I'm doing the right thing. So that's just kind of how I look at it.
And you've made some hella memorable moments. You versus XLV is one of my favorites. But more recently, you versus City Towers. That's your performance against City Towers recently is legitimately one of my favorite, like, 4 to 8 bar setups that I've ever heard. And like hearing the people in the back screaming like that. There's a clip that was out where where you talk about city towers at a
Oh
battle.
yeah, yeah.
So he pulls out 50K and you
Yeah.
lose all crowd control. Then we gotta watch you in the interview after. Honestly, she was a downer though. I'm thinking, come on, McGuire. He showed you the money. Where'd all the shouting go? And somebody in the back goes, ah.
Yeah, man.
Bro, I've watched that setup and execution at least 40 times. Do you remember, you would happen to remember the first like bar or two that set that up? Because that was the part that really just killed me. Do you remember that setup?
Yeah. So first of all, just to not just to
Shout out M City.
clarify that. Yeah, City Tower. I battled City from Detroit. There's also City Towers in New York. So I just shout out. They're both in King of the Dot season 1. So shout out to both of them. But yeah, let me think, man. I was so I had the first part of the round. Yeah, this was definitely my favorite round from that battle and one of my favorites ever. The first part I was talking about the Ann Arbor shit, and then at some point I shifted into I said I was talking about City being from Ann Arbor and not Detroit. And
but honestly, I thought the City battle. I thought the City battle was honestly unfair. But he said, "Oh no!" When he said City, you're the out of towner.
Yeah,
Call it in the air,
bro. Call it in the air.
That shit was so fire. I'm sorry, that was just my fanboy moment. That bar was so crazy.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I mean that's what I really, above all else, that's the type of shit I like to do, is just kind of take an angle and really tell kind of a story with it. There's a few people I feel like it's a style that you don't see as much anymore. Like everyone's obviously a lot more punch heavy now, and I try to keep up with that. But at the end of the day, I really like those kind of almost like obscure angles a little bit more. Like I think I think Dunch is pretty clearly like the king of that right now. There's a couple other guys, like, I mean, Pat Stay, I feel like was kind of the first to really take that style and make it like mainstream and, be kind of the funny, sarcastic, like angler. And, I feel like I've put kind of my own twist on it, but, I feel like I need just having that first battle out of the way and knowing what was working and what wasn't. I think that clearly was what was working best for me. And I've got, I got another one in a couple weeks, and yeah, we're going to make the right adjustments, and it's going to get a little spooky.
Yeah, let's go.
Do you really feel that you had to like prepare differently to a certain degree in this kind of format?
A little bit. Like, I think the mistake I made in the City battle was because I prepared. I took it very seriously. I mean, Josh, because we spar. I was ready. I was not prepping last minute like I usually do. Like, I took it very seriously, but I just didn't have I think I didn't quite have the right attitude going into it, where I was almost treating it like just a regular battle. Because I don't really, when I go into a battle, I'm not like really paying that much attention to like wins and losses. I don't really care about what the other guy's doing. Like, I'm just there because I want to entertain the crowd, make some people laugh. At the end of the day, I know what I'm going to do is probably going to be more memorable than what the other person does. So like that was kind of my attitude going into it. But so I kind of did what I always do. I had the, kind of the dry humor, the, kind of the monotone voice, all that. It was a normal XQZ performance. But what I realized is, this is, you can't really treat this like just a normal battle. There's 100K on the line. There's judges. Most of the fans watching probably aren't familiar with me. So if they see me being kind of laid back, kind of, nonchalant, even though that's my style, they're going to take that as, this dude doesn't care. I'm going to vote for the person that seems hungrier and seems like they really want it. So I think it's, you know, I'm certainly not going to change my whole, everything about what I do for this tournament, but it is clear the energy's got to be there. You're not going to win any people over if you just seem like you're just kind of going through the motions or trying to coast through it. So, and it's at the end of the day too, it's super frustrating because I feel like in the city battle, the material I wrote was crazy. And between that and my battle with Patron on the URL Crucible and a couple other recent ones, I just feel like I keep writing 3 rounds of like shit that's crazier than like what, I think 95% of battle rappers are writing. So for me to keep delivering it in a way that it doesn't really hit, it just, all that work is going to waste. And it's kind of gotten frustrating where it's like, if I'm going to put all this work in, I want to make sure that it hits how it's supposed to. So there's going to be, I'm kind of channeling a different type of energy going into this one where I'm kind of fed up with it. So that's looking at
there's
this.
kind of this thing where the energy also has to match the content. And a lot of people, like when I watch a lot of battle rappers, they are aggressive or loud all the time. And I come from a little bit of a theater background, and when you study how people actually react to material, you know that in order to keep people engaged, there have to be crests and falls and rises and things of that nature. So when you have somebody who's just kind of screaming and moving forward as loudly and as powerfully as they can, to me that gets stale. So when I get to see a performance like yours, where there's actually subtlety, and there's an I word I'm looking for, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But there's subtlety, and there's differences in cadence and your intent. Sometimes you're trying to be funny, sometimes you're trying to be insulting, sometimes you're punching. And to me, that variety is the spice of life. There are people who focus on doing one thing well in battle rap, as opposed to people who focus on doing one thing great, as opposed to people who focus on doing multiple things well. And I think that's where you differ. But I also think that sometimes that's where the disconnect comes in that a lot of people are coming to see the one thing done great. And it's like somebody ordering pizza, right? Because the pizza is one great thing versus, you could grill chicken and then, steam some broccoli and make rice. And then you got a whole meal, but everybody's not going to appreciate the whole meal over pizza, which is much easier to just pick up and consume. Not as an insult to anybody else that battle raps, but to me,
great analogy.
There's pizza and then there's full meals, and everybody doesn't appreciate a full meal. When you go to things like the Crucible and like KOTD season 1 and season 2, they're kind of looking for pizza. And I as an old school hip hop head and an MC appreciate the full course meal. Everybody doesn't though, so everybody doesn't like everything. That's just
yeah, and that's why it's sort of tricky to navigate these type of situations, because like, for example, the Crucible is a great example because I did my tryout battle. I battled MVP and in St. Louis, and the judges that decided who moved on to the next round was Young Cannon and A Ward. And I think it's just a thing when you're a battle rapper, you critique shit differently than fans do, and they saw me and they're like, okay, this is different, this is unique, this is original, it's fire. I was like probably one of probably the first names that they moved through of all the people that went that day. Then when the fans saw it, they were like, what the fuck is this? So it's kind of like, I feel like saying I'm a rapper's rapper is like I don't necessarily see it that like that's, I don't feel like I'm this incredible rapper, but I think if you really have been in this shit for a long time and really understand all the different styles, like I feel like I'm kind of undeniable if you can appreciate that type of variety. And the thing with this now is like how I've always felt is if you're unique, if you're different and you stick to what you do, it's not going to get you the most fans, but it's going to get you the best fans. If your supporters like you for you, and you don't have to put on a character or change your style or whatever, then you know they're going to rock with you no matter what. I mean, look at Eddie I in that's the homie. He's lost, I think, every time he's been on KOTD, but they keep booking him, and his fans still rock with him because they don't really care, because he's created a fan base just from being him, from sticking to that, and they're always going to book him because they know people rock with him. So it's that's how I look at it. I'm like, this shit's bigger than a win or a loss. It's you being you and creating, art that's original. But there's another layer to it, because you're also competing for 100K. So it's trying to find the balance between like adapting to that environment while still, staying true to your style. So, I learned a lot from that first battle, and I think I know what I need to do in a couple of weeks here.
Sounds dope. I when I teach hip hop, I teach the difference between a rapper and a musician. And I think that distinct difference comes into play here when I'm explaining to young artists how to be successful moving into the field of music. I would tell them that music is about how much of yourself you are willing to sell. But you have to sell enough to be successful, but keep enough to be able to live with yourself after. And so you have this weird balance. Like for me, being Black Mage, right? I'm obviously a wizard-based character. Now, oddly enough, I wasn't into a whole lot of the wizard stuff until I started battle rapping. Like, I didn't mess with Harry Potter. I had to watch all the Harry Potter movies just because I got called Harry Potter a lot, right? So I'm gonna have to figure out how to deal with it. And so you hit this place where it's like, okay, as a wizard, I owe the crowd, almost, for lack of a better phrase, a certain amount of pandering to my caricature, my style, the character I've created. However, anybody who knows me knows that I'm like, the name, it just kind of came from, something, but it wasn't like an attempt at a characterization. So there's a certain amount of yourself and your own personal hurdles that you want to clear, your own personal style that you want to execute. But, then you hit that barrier where it's like, okay, but the audience is the consumer. And as an entertainer, no matter how good you are, 50% of the job is entertaining. You can write and make the best stuff in the world, but if it's not what they want to buy, it doesn't matter how good what you made is. And so you hit this wall where you're trying to figure out how much of yourself to give to the audience and how much to keep. And so I feel like that is a little bit of the contrast you are working towards now, because you are undeniably XQZ. You have your own personal style, and people love that. But you also have to prepare the meal that people want to eat. So it's like, how do I take my full course meal and fit it into a pizza format for people? And that is the entertainment value that I'm getting from watching your progression through the crucible, your growth as an artist, to see you versus Coach, then you versus XLV, and you versus City Towers, and you versus MVP, and all of these battles, and to watch how you've been doing this for over a decade. And when people think, there was a phrase, what is it? The master is a master of his craft. The grandmaster knows that he can never truly master his craft. So you're in this game for a decade plus, and people are like, yeah, he's so good. And then you have you who knows you're still growing. It's like, yeah, I've been doing this for a decade, but every battle, every time I step on that stage, I'm finding new elements. I'm finding new pieces of myself that now I have to figure out how to factor in. And this is a new piece. I don't even know if I'm factoring this in right, but like, I'm growing doing this while you're growing watching me. It's such an adventure, bro. I'm a fan. But I've said that like 3 times now. So
yeah, no, I appreciate that. And it's real. Like, I mean, because I obviously, like, I respect your craft big time. You've been on a absolutely crazy run the last year or two. Like, bro, it's cool to see. And I think it's just like it's interesting because battle rap is something that can really, I mean, anything you're passionate about can really toy with your emotions, right? I mean, I'll have one day where I'll feel like, wow, I'm really like, I'm about to break through. Like I made it. And then the next day you'll just feel like, man, what the fuck am I doing? So it's just like, you got to just kind of roll with it. And, because it just depends on what angle you look at shit from. Like, I can be really happy about the fact that, of how far I've come, but then I could also look at, someone like Real Sick, who's, progressed 1,000 times higher in 1/4 of the time. Like, so it's just, there's always going to be things to be proud of, and then there's also always going to be like other people that are putting pressure on you and making you feel like you need to step it up. So it's just like, it's just a constant like churn of just kind of processing all of that.
Yeah, and you certainly are rising the challenge though.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, I mean, look, they didn't give me a. I mean, I don't think anybody in this KOTD season has an easy schedule, but the fact that I got Bill Collector in 2 months, like after seeing what he just did, like I think that's going to be the biggest challenge I've ever had in my career. So it's you just have
Bill
to.
Collector's going crazy right now.
Yeah, very crazy, and he's rap. He decided to just start rapping like fucking daylight in out of nowhere. Like, I mean, he's always had an underrated pen, but he just decided to completely flex on that and do really like just show that off versus Stack, and people are like really waking up. But yeah, like 12 years deep, and I'm gonna getting new. It's every other battle feels like the biggest test I've ever had. I mean, I just battled Madflex a couple months ago. Like, it just, you're always just forced to get out of your comfort zone and try to rise to the occasion, and it's the only way to really get there.
Facts, and that kind of book collector being to go to years, it kind of leads me into this next question. Do you have, apart from the 100K, of course, do you have any specific goals that you've set during this KOTD season? And if anything, what does this mean to you now that you have eyes than before on your work?
That's hey, there we go. We got this. XQZ is for the children too. Wrap it up.
What's up, little man?
She. Yeah, that's what's up. As far as goals, like it's interesting because it changed quite a bit. Like I said, going into that first battle with City, I was more just feeling like this season is a good opportunity to get new eyes on me. Like, I just want to go up there, like, represent myself well, represent Chicago, No Coast, everything, and just kind of put on a show. But again, I think that was too. I think that wasn't thinking big enough, Like, I think that was too basic. like you need more. It's going to take more hunger than that. So I really I still, who wouldn't want to win 100K? Who wouldn't want to make a big playoff run? I just want to come out of it really feeling proud of what I did. And like the City battle, there were moments that I'm happy with, but as a whole, like I just know I can do way better than that. So I just want to come out of these next two just feeling like I really didn't cut any corners or try to coast through it or try to feel like, I don't really care if I win or I lose, because I do. And it's, you just I just want to make sure I'm sending the right message. So I feel like if I do what I'm supposed to these next two, I should be in these playoffs. So which it's an uphill battle, just with this path ahead. But I'm built for it. I really like what I've got for LL Cool J in a couple weeks. So it's I'm just trying to turn up.
Yeah, and obviously Koji is a fellow pioneer in the Midwest movement recently, and you could say he's had a pretty fast rise over these last couple of years. He's definitely fine.
Yeah, he's got a pretty remarkable resume. Like you can't deny that. I mean, he's battled Rum Nitty, 40 bars. He's battling Ill Will the day before he's battling me. I think that's a bold move, but his own. But
oh my.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to respect the work ethic. You got to respect the resume. He's very established, very solidified, and I know it's mutual respect there. But it's just it's a wrong place, wrong time situation for him. So
talk
that shit, bro.
I fuck with Kuji, but
if anything, I think that you have to take advantage of his horrible timing, in terms of his battles, because we can't. I know we can't half-ass you. You can't half-ass him.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is,
turn out one way or the other.
And the other thing is, I don't think he's battled someone, because he's battled legends. Don't get me wrong, but it's been situations where I don't think the legends he's battled were really fully doing their homework on him and really preparing like the battle meant everything to them. And I don't think anyone else he's battled does the type of, has the same type of approach I do. So I think he'll enjoy the fact that he's going to hear material against him that he's never heard before. It's going to be all original angles. I think he always seems like someone who, when his opponent's on it, he shows respect. He's honest about it, and I'm the same way. So, it's gonna be a style clash, but it's like I said, it doesn't really matter who it is this time around. I got something to prove.
All facts, man. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how these two battles turn out, especially Bill Collector. He's arguably the juggernaut of battle rap right now.
Yep.
It's going to be a tall task, but I know you can pull it off.
Yeah, it's an uphill climb. I mean, he's someone who he's probably one of the most versatile battle rappers, period. Like he obviously showed like he can just bar out if he wants to, but his whole career he's obviously been known more for like the charisma, just the pure entertainment, which, I mean, that's not necessarily an attribute I'm known for. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to counter that, and how to try to match that type of presence, but in a way that I do it. So it's definitely an uphill battle. Obviously I don't think I'm gonna be picked in many of the predictions, but that's how it's always been for me. So.
Yeah. Hey, that underdog status is what's up. The more they sleep, the more they sleep, the more Dream Eater hurts. So
yeah, that's been it. I mean, that's been it for me for so long, man. Like I can't remember the last time I felt like I was the clear like favorite going into a battle. Like maybe it was Speedy, but even that was like 4 years ago. Like. I feel like every time it's me kind of, I guess XLV was a home game, but like he almost had like an underdog effect to the point where it was like that actually worked for him. Like, I don't know. And maybe it's just me, getting that like MJ mentality where I just take everything personal, but it always just kind of feels like it's stacked against me a little bit.
And I took that personal.
I always take it personal, but
I was just thinking. Shout out to the Last Dance.
Facts. Yeah, if you need motivation, that's the shit you gotta watch. Yeah.
That man was a psychopath, but that's a whole nother thing.
One of the best documentaries ever.
It was the clear highlight of COVID for me was that the world was blessed with The Last Dance, because that came out early on. I binged it twice, man, and especially right now it hits different because it's a dark time for Chicago sports right now. So gotta just
a dark time. Relax, guys.
Ish. A dark time for my teams. Over on the south side, they're loving it, but
it's like you're talking like the Avatar. It's a dark time when the Fire Nation is hacked. Relax. It's the Cubs and the Bears. It will be. I'm a Raiders fan. All right, have several seats.
Yeah,
it's been a long 2 decades for me.
Yeah, I'm a Seattle Kraken fan, so the future is looking bright there. So
okay, that's what's up.
But. Yeah, me and Josh is always texting me anytime the White Sox get someone from the Cubs that ends up smoking shit, which is happening a lot lately.
Bro, when the Raiders traded Khalil Mack to the Bears,
teach you on that shit.
Yeah,
I didn't watch football for like the first 5 games of the season. I couldn't handle it because they traded Khalil Mack to the Bears, and he's like sacking, forcing fumbles, getting touchdowns. I was like, God damn.
Man, if we waste that man's prime, I don't think I can ever like fully rock with this team ever again. Like they have this guy and can't make it happen with him. It's
at least John damn near took him to a Super Bowl. He was on the Raiders forever, bro, doing work every year and barely making it to the playoffs. So when he got traded, I was a little happy for him, but he didn't get all the way there. It'd be like that.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
Salute, Scotty Nicholas on the chat, fellow writer there. Yeah, I'm excited to do this year, especially with Justin Fields. He's looking super fire.
That's what they're saying. He's having a good camp, so you can't get your hopes up with the Bears QB, but it seems more.
It don't matter because Derek Carr and the Raiders finna come in and take it all anyway.
We'll
see about that.
Hey, we got the ogre. We got the ogre in the building. Yeah.
My ogre.
My man. Hey, shout out to Funk, man. What? Yo, he battled recently, didn't he? Or was he right?
He also battled Aristotle, but got on.
Oh man, shout out to Fink, man. That's the homie right there.
Fink Funk, yeah.
Yeah, dude is one of the realest people ever in this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I contest to that.
Yeah, he been supporting from the jump, man. That was, man, the coolest thing was when I battled Coach, because that was like the first. That was I think the first Chicago opponent. I don't remember if I battled him or Speedy first. I think Coach was the first Chicago opponent I ever had. So even though I had been active for a long time, I hadn't really met or really kicked it with a lot of the people in this scene. And I was like, the night I battled Coach, I was going through it real bad. That was probably the least prepared I've ever been for a battle. And so I thought it was just going to be a disaster of a night, but everyone was super cool, man. Gage, Gracie, fucking Stretch, all those dudes. Like, I thought I was going to get roasted.
What hood are you from? Trigger Town. Well, that's actually a pretty cool one.
I love
it.
Yo, I got rescued with that bar too, because Jay Walker was supposed to yell that and he forgot. So whoever Coach's friend was actually saved me on that.
Hey, serendipity, bro. Sometimes shit is supposed to happen.
Yeah, but sometimes that's how it goes, man. You feel like I told Mage the other night because he called me before the XLV battle, and I told him sometimes the ones you feel like are about to just be a disaster sometimes it just works out, and me and Coach ended up being one of the most fun battles I've had, and I just felt terrible going into it. So sometimes it just works out that way.
It certainly worked out. It's got crazy replay value.
You live and learn.
I'm glad it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do agree with you, Major. That was a pretty fun battle, regardless, though.
Yeah, it was.
Hey,
and honestly, that was our coach, and I've been a fan since.
Yeah, bro. He's really like. First of all, I've seen every time I've seen him battle live. I think it was me versus Human. I think there was one more. He just like I've never seen him not be just on 10. Like he's just man, he just back to back, never misses, crazy presence. He's very clearly one of the best in Chicago, and I think could, it was cool to see him get on that RBE stage. I hope he sticks with it. It seems like he's more motivated than ever. So,
Coach is awesome. It's a shame I'm gonna have to kick his ass.
What's that?
I said, Coach is awesome. It's a shame I'm gonna have to kick his ass.
Oh, man, I would love to. Is that happening?
It will. It will. Coach was supposed to battle Duke,
right?
They did a face-off, and Coach and Duke were talking, and he's like, "You out here having debatables with wizards," and all I can think is, Duke, please say Mage will kick your ass too. That's all he had to say. Mage will fuck you up too.
Bro, nothing will make a battle rapper throw someone under the bus like a face-off. Man, it don't matter if you're how good of friends you are. When it comes down to it, it's out. I think there's been plenty of times I'll see someone who I'm friends with suddenly in the face-off. Hey, you lost to fucking white, but like it don't matter who you are, man. They'll throw you under the bus to make their opponent look trash. So that's how these things go. But man, I would love to see that one. I love what's happening in Chicago right now. I feel like it's not on a big scale yet, but you can feel it happening, man. Like, Gage has really established himself. Coach is getting on bigger stages. Guys like you and Venom and, are getting out to iBattle. Shastafa is going to be in the Crucible. Like it's shit's happening, So I feel like it's True Foe in the Final Four and Ultimate Madness. That's huge. Like,
right.
There's something going on right now.
MVP is gonna be nuts.
Mr. Biscuit, he counts to Chicago because he battles, and we're claiming him. So it's happening. But yeah, shout out to man. I'm pissed off because I feel I did a Ultimate Madness bracket, and I don't usually do that, but I had 3 of the Final 4 right. I had Bose beating NXT. Otherwise, I'd have a perfect bracket so far. But yeah, MVP and True Foe, like 2 of my favorites. Period. That's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that one. I low key been wanting that battle to happen, and what a perfect place for it to happen.
Yeah. That's a really cool. It's a really cool clash of personalities because like MVP obviously like just back-to-back haymakers, like, and then just on social media just super funny, high energy, and then Trufo's a little more serious. He still punches, but it's a different like it's just like it's a different tone. You know what I mean? So it's a really interesting clash, and I know they respect each other. Like I've been watching their like face-offs and interviews and shit. But it's a cool opportunity. It's a great look for the Midwest, and I hope at the end of the day, I get to either say that we got a Chicago in the finals, or we got somebody that I battled in the Crucible in the finals. Either way, that's pretty cool for me personally. So yeah, I'm happy for him.
And also, while we're on the subject of Midwest, shout out Duke. But I'm kicking your ass in 3 weeks. Not to make it about me, I just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, we definitely brought XQZ onto this show just to talk shit. We're hitting the 45-minute mark, so it's about time for final thoughts.
Okay.
X, it would seem that you have surpassed what you thought you would do in battle rap since, like, you started. So my question to you is this: have you set any new goals for yourself, having seen what you're capable of? Imagine you're on the track and you're doing hurdles, and you set the hurdle because you just want to do her, and then you clear those hurdles by 1.5 feet. So now you got to adjust your hurdles. You didn't think you jumped that high. Turns out you do, right? Have you set any new goals for yourself to get to?
Yeah. So, I mean, number one, I would say the way this KOTD season came about, I almost haven't even had a chance to, because I came out of the Mad Flex battle, and I thought this year was just kind of be like par for the course. I had the CJA battle booked. I had a couple like one rounders that I didn't, were nice paychecks, but I didn't think were really going to do anything for me. I didn't think much was really popping off this year. And then goalie called me for this season out of nowhere, totally unexpected. So all of a sudden I kind of went from thinking like, it's going to be laid back, I'm just going to kind of chill, to, whoa, I'm suddenly, elevated to a new platform, bigger than anything I've been on before. So I reached a goal I probably would have set for myself without even like really expecting it. So I think where I go from here is like, I just want to be, and this isn't really like a tangible, like, concrete goal. It's, this is more like based on opinion, but I want to feel like I'm not an under the radar dude anymore. Like my whole career, it's been XQZ is so underrated. When's he going to get the looks he deserves? I just want to put that to bed and just be like, nah, like I'm here. I'm not a fan that's, just trying to battle. I'm not, an underdog trying to step up. Like, no, I'm here. I've been doing this. I'm a vet. Like, I'm, put me on any card like that. I want to establish that. And I think if I do what I'm supposed to with LL and with, especially with Bill Collector, just knowing how many, knowing all eyes are going to be on anything he does, like, that'll do it, or at least that'll be a huge step in that direction. So I just, I want to feel like I want to get into a position where I don't need anyone to give me looks anymore. I want to be someone who can give looks and put other people on. But as long as I'm still kind of, under the radar, just trying to break through, that can never happen. So there's no clear like benchmark as to when I've accomplished that goal, but I think you'll kind of know. So that's the way I'm looking at it right now.
All right, so you want to introduce yourself to the world.
I want to introduce myself.
You would certainly be closer after the Bill Collector battle.
I mean, if it, depending on how it goes, I could be there after, like, one good battle can change a lot. So, it's definitely not out of the question. And yeah, I want to introduce myself to the world, and then I want to introduce Black Mage to the world, and the real JC to the world, and fucking Human to the world, and
appreciate you.
All like fucking Shogun, all these dudes, man. Like that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like it's a certain, I feel like I already feel some type of way that like I've been in after 12 years. I wish I was in a position to put people on more than I am. But it's never too late for that. So that's my motivation right now.
I respect that. Don't forget that you are already an inspiring legend. You have your performances early on in my career inspired me to move forward, to truly pursue being more than just a rapper, being an entertainer, taking battle rap from a gulag of war to a gladiator's arena. So while you want to introduce yourself to the world so that you can, introduce others to the world, I feel as though you should realize, if you haven't, that while you may not be introducing people to the world, you are introducing people in the world to a new world. I might not be where I'm at or who I am if I wasn't inspired to make it far enough to battle you or people like you. So I respect your goal. I do not know if I can say, if I'm qualified to say, you may be further than you think already, or you may be more important than you know. I don't know if I'm qualified to say that, but it is how I feel. JC, your thoughts ending the XQZ Brace for It interview.
Yeah, I'd appreciate what you've done for this entire scene, especially No Coast, and I said this to you before. You giving me the confidence to even step into that ring in the first place, and I of course appreciate the friendship we've struck in over the years, and you definitely keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah. Well, it means a lot, guys. Like, for real. Like, you already know how much I appreciate and respect both of you, and yeah, man. I mean, that's what it's about, man. Just entertain each other and motivate each other. Like, man, it's cool to see. That's what's so dope about this community, and that's the other part of it is just like, it's even if I feel like even if I wasn't on this KOTD stage or whatever, like, I'd be doing this. I'd still be battling no matter, even if nobody was watching, and it was, for no, like, I just love this shit. I love the community, and it's really an honor to try to carry that torch, and I appreciate it, for real.
All right, well, we appreciate everything you've done, and thank you for giving us your time. We understand that you are busy, you have stuff to do and stuff to work on, and we genuinely appreciate it.
Yep, anytime.
Thank you for being our first interview.
Yep, anytime, my man. Let me know.
All right, JC, you want to land this plane?
This has been Brace for It. Tune in for the next one, whether a prediction or an interview. Stay tuned. Peace, y'all.